Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. This is Lena here. I'm a Zimbabwean YouTuber living in the United Arab Emirates. On this channel I document my life abroad. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 things I don't like about living in the United Arab Emirates. Now I have a video down below where I shared with you 5 things, or was it 10 things I love about UAE. So now I'm going to the opposite side of the things that I don't like. A quick disclaimer guys, this does not mean everybody is affected by it, and this does not mean everybody does it. These are just my personal experience and my personal expressions and feelings towards my stay in this country. The first one is the spitting culture. I call it a culture because I have witnessed this more than I can count, and it's only done every time this is done, the spitting is done, it's always done by a certain group of people. These guys can literally spit in front of you, around you, in the streets, everywhere. I used to look at them and make sure that I give them an eye contact so that they feel uncomfortable about what they're doing. I would look at them like, ew, what are you doing? But I've seen that even some people around don't react. It's normal. It's normal. In my country, it might not be the cleanest country, but you don't just do that in front of other people. Especially if you do it around business areas, they will literally harass you, or they'll ask you to pick up your speed. That's how nasty it can get. It's not the norm. Other people may do it, but they make sure they do it when no one is watching. It's not something you can literally do around people. It's not normal. Number 2, I'm going to share about the strictness in this country. Now, this touches a lot of things, but I'm not gonna dive deeply in it. I mean, in my country, I realized after I moved here in UAE that we have so much freedom of speech. We talk about anything, anywhere, anytime, as compared to what we do in this country. The dressing, really here, you always have to be self-conscious around certain areas. In my country, it's almost like the same. They will shame you if you're half naked, or if you're wearing a miniskirt, a bum short in town, they will shame you. But I feel like in this country, there is a certain level of strictness. For example, you can't be touchy in public. Not to say people don't do it, they do it, but it's not permitted. It's not something that is acceptable. As well as the strictness of what to post online, what to say online, the specific topics that are sensitive, that can get you sued. So that is something I dislike, because as a citizen, I mean, in my country, we feel entitled to our opinions. We say what we want when we want. In this country, however, you're not allowed to even film someone or take pictures of something or some situations and post them online, which can be a good thing, but a bad thing, it's not permitted. That reminds me of, I think almost 2 weeks ago, I was in a supermarket, and I usually document in the supermarket. However, on this particular day, I was vlogging, and what I did different that almost got me in trouble was I went to a self-checkout. I don't usually do self-checkout. I usually go to the till to check out, but on this particular day, because I wasn't buying a lot of things, I felt like I can't join the longer queue for checkout. I can literally just do a self-checkout, which is what I did. And on my way out, the security guard pulled me over. He told me that it wasn't allowed to document, and I asked why, because I always document and it's not written anywhere. Then he said because the security cameras, so you are documenting it as if something is wrong. He said a whole bunch of things that I wasn't aware of, because I document all the time. I make vlogs in that very supermarket. So yeah, I was kind of traumatized, because just imagine you're being pulled over by a security officer and they're explaining to you that you're not allowed to document. I'm still yet to even edit that video, because I'm like, wait, if he told me it's not allowed to document, should I post it? Like I said, this topic it can spread in so many different areas, and I feel like a lot of things are sensitive. And we can talk about a lot of things that are just sensitive. So yeah, you have to be really careful. Number 3 has to be the working culture in UAE. I dislike the working culture here. I feel like in my country, people have a lot of freedom when it comes to working cultures. Here, the standard for most of the people, not all, for most of the people is you work 6 days and you get 1 day off. Now, this doesn't apply to me because I don't have the same setup, but I used to have the same setup. This mainly affects people from the hospitality industry. Plus, be aware that this country has a lot of restaurants, so it's a tourist destination. So that means a lot of people are affected because their jobs are on that side. It doesn't affect people who work in the government sectors because they're entitled to the public holidays, and the fact that this country has a lot of holidays throughout the year. Like for the most people, they get 30 days holiday after completing a year of working. So to me, it's like, and because in my country, there are many hustlers than there is fully employed people. So you have the freedom to choose when you want to work and when you don't want to show up at work. Even the domestic workers in my country, they're entitled to certain holidays. Not all of them, but most of them, they're entitled to like the heroes, when there's heroes in August, in April, Easter holiday, in August, heroes holiday, in December, Christmas holiday, they're entitled to that. Coming here and see that you're entitled to only 30 days after a year or in a year, it's something I don't like about the work culture. Working hours as well, I feel like they're too much in this country for most of the people, guys. I'm talking about most of the people, excluding those who work in government sectors because they have opening hours and closing hours. But those in restaurants and some of the domestic workers, they don't get to have more resting hours. They work more than 12 hours, some 14, some 16, depend with your employer. But yeah, I'm trying to broaden this because it affects some people and doesn't affect some people, but the culture is literally the same throughout the country. The next one has to be the lack of community in this country. This doesn't affect everyone, obviously. Like I said, this is solely my experience, but being in this country, I've only made one friend. It's been 4 years. It's been nearly 5 years. This will be my 5th year in this country, and I've only had one best friend. Not just best, okay, I've only had one friend. That says a lot about the culture in this country. Like I said in my previous videos, in my country, you don't have to necessarily be friends with someone in order to socialize. But in this country, it's not the norm to just randomly walk to someone and start talking to them unless you know them, or unless they're your co-workers or someone you know, church mate, or maybe you guys met somewhere before, like unless it's that case. But usually if you don't meet people from your country or from other countries online, then the culture here, it might get lonely. I don't like the fact that there is a lack of community. For other people, they're lucky. I mean, they're outgoing, they are all that. But in my country, you don't have to be outgoing. You don't have to be an outgoing person in order for you to socialize. Socialization in this country is on the down part of it, in my experience. Lastly, guys, I want to talk about how foreigners treat foreigners in this country. It's something I dislike. You realize that the majority of racism that I have personally faced in this country came from expats. It came from the people that don't even belong in this country, who are literally expats just as I am. It's just something that I don't like. The fact that you get to be bullied by an expat and you're an expat doesn't make sense. The fact that someone points out that you are of color and they don't even belong in this country, it's insane for me. It's something I just dislike. Being someone that have also interacted with people who have faced racism, it has always came from a certain group of people who are not even the owners of this country. Like, how does that happen? Not to say I won't copy them, not to say I don't like the country. No, I just don't like certain things that happen while I stay in this country. With that being said, United Arab Emirates is a great country to live in. My experience might not be your experience, so don't hesitate to come here if you want to come here. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, please feel free to pop them in the comment section below. I'll be glad to answer them. If you also have any video suggestions that you'd want me to cover, feel free to also comment down below. By the way guys, in case my video quality is not the one you're used to, I lost my phone last week when I traveled to Dubai, so I bought this Android to use. So I'm gonna be using it to edit with CapCut. I'm shooting with my camera and I'm gonna edit with my Android. In case there is like a bit of sound change or video quality change, just so you know, my apology. I'm working on retrieving my phone, and when that happens, you just see that the quality is no longer the same. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Annyeong.